Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Ford because they're in a really bad position right now, and if things get worse, they could potentially run themselves out of business. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below, and then if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Let's get into it. Before we officially dive into this video, I do need to give you guys a little bit of a warning that I might have a little bit of potential bias. I have purchased a lot of Fords in the past, and well, after I talk about everything in this video, I'm going to tell you guys whether or not I plan on purchasing more Fords in the future. And so yeah, just thought I'd get that out of the way. Let's dive into the numbers. So the first number we need to discuss is Ford's whole stock price situation. So right now it's sitting at about $11 per share. It is down by almost 50% year to date. Just in the last month, it's declined by almost 20%. And so that means that, well, investors aren't really interested in Ford. Now, obviously the entire stock market is down this year, but I can tell you that the entire stock market is not down by about 50%. So yeah, Ford's definitely struggling a little bit more than other companies. Now, the next thing to note is the amount of money that Ford is making and the amount of money that Ford is spending. So Ford's overall revenue is actually up right now. It looks like they're going to make about $75-ish billion. But their net profit is actually not a profit, it's a net loss. They're going to lose around $1 billion, which means that they are spending more money than they are making. And one of their biggest costs is warranty claims. Right now, on average per year, Ford is spending around $4 to $5 billion on warranty claims. And then we also see, like, every single week, it seems like Ford has a new recall that is in the hundreds of millions in terms of the cost. And so Ford is having major issues with vehicle quality because of how much money they're spending, again, on warranty claims and then on recalls. And I mean, Ford's CEO has even come out and said that, yeah, quality control is a huge issue with Ford right now, and until we fix this, we can't really move forward. I want to quickly dive into each individual component that I just mentioned. Now, first off, when it comes to the stock price, that is obviously important for a company, but that isn't everything for a company. A company can still operate even if their stock price falls a substantial amount. If they still have consumers purchasing from them, then they are fine. And that's kind of the situation that Ford and frankly a lot of automakers are in, is investors have pulled away, but they don't need those investors to operate. Ultimately, they have enough cash on hand that they can continue operations, and they have enough customers on hand as well that they can continue operations. So just because Ford's stock price is down, I don't necessarily think that that means doom and gloom for the company, but I do think that that means that the company should try to, you know, fix things a little bit so that investors are a little bit more interested, because it frankly always looks bad for any company when their stock price is falling, and it, you know, potentially makes some consumers question whether or not they should actually purchase from that company, because nobody wants to purchase something as expensive as a vehicle from a company if they end up going out of business, because that means that, well, warranty claims wouldn't be warranty claims anymore. No company, no warranty. Now, when it comes to their overall gross profit figure being larger this year than last year, I don't really think that that's all that important, because, well, we have record high inflation right now, and so of course they're going to make more gross profit because, well, their product costs more. The real figure we need to look at is that net profit, and that net profit is now in the negative. Last year, Ford actually turned a positive profit of over $1 billion. This year, it looks like they're going to lose about $1 billion, and so they're definitely heading in the wrong direction. And so, you know, obviously gross profit figures are important because the company ultimately needs to make enough money overall to cover all of their costs, but that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. The thing that truly matters is going to be that net profit number. And so unless Ford can cut down their costs or somehow make even more profit, then they're just going to continue to dig themselves into a deeper hole. And obviously, one of the biggest ways for Ford to cut their costs is to fix these quality control issues. This is something that is just a huge issue for Ford, and I have felt this as a customer. I've owned a bunch of Fords over the last few years, and I'll talk about some of the issues that I have personally had on my vehicles. So I had a 2017 Shelby GT350 that had some paint issues where the paint just, like, wasn't wanting to stay on the car. It was like randomly chipping, and it was like, okay. I ended up getting it fixed by a body shop when I sold it, so it's like no big deal, but still, it's annoying, especially on a car that brand new was like $60-something thousand. Now, another vehicle that I had issues with was my Gen 2 Ford Raptor. It was a 2020 Ford Raptor, which you think that, you know, the last year of the Gen 2 Raptor would be the most reliable, and it wasn't. I had engine knock happen several times before 10,000 miles. I had my rear brakes disintegrate on that truck and had to have them replaced before 6,000 miles, and I had my front axle break on that truck before, like, I think it was like 12,000 miles. Overall, I think that truck in total had like $20,000 in warranty claims. And again, this is a pickup truck that brand new stickered for about $74,000. I don't know what Ford's actual cost into the Raptor is. I'm guessing it's somewhere in the $60,000 range. And so Ford definitely didn't make a profit on my particular Raptor because they had to spend so much money in warranty claims on that truck. And then when it comes to the Fords that I currently have, I have a Shelby GT 500 and a Gen 3 Ford Raptor. Well, the Gen 3 Ford Raptor has a bunch of fit and finish issues that I can't really get fixed. I'm just kind of stuck with them. And same thing with the GT 500. Now, the GT 500, it seems like the build quality and that's a little bit better than the Raptor. Not perfect, but it seems like it's a little bit better. And so, you know, I'll just have to see. I haven't really had major issues with either of those vehicles yet. It's just kind of like general quality of, you know, how the vehicle is put together. But, you know, stuff seems to be working so far. And this now leads us into the other issues that Ford is having. One big issue is with production. Ford is still struggling a massive amount with meeting demand with certain product. And the thing that's funny is Ford seems to be able to build the product that nobody wants to buy, and then they can't build the product that people actually want to buy. Like, you go to a Ford dealership and chances are you'll find some F-150s on the ground. You might see some, you know, Bronco Sports, for example, but you won't see Mavericks, you won't see regular Broncos, you won't see Raptors, you won't see any of the product that people are not only, you know, willing to buy today, whereas a lot of other cars with a lot of other manufacturers aren't selling, but they're also, you know, a lot of times willing to still pay price premiums for them. And so Ford definitely needs to figure that out, and they just need to figure out their whole microchip situation overall, because it's crazy the amount of features that are missing from Fords. Like, I reviewed an F-150 Platinum this month, no massaging seats, no heated steering wheel. I reviewed a Raptor, no heated steering wheel, and these are pickup trucks that are $80,000-$90,000 for the MSRP, and Ford dealers definitely aren't discounting vehicles right now. Like, for the most part, everything's selling for MSRP or above MSRP still, and so that in itself is a major issue. And well, the whole dealership side of things is also a major issue for Ford. Ford is seen as in every person's brand. Like, they're the brand that, you know, regular people can buy from, but that is slowly not becoming the case anymore because of the markups that Ford dealers have on their product, and it's really hurting Ford as a company. This is why Ford has been so public about trying to figure out this whole dealer markup situation, because Ford is losing a ton of customers. The example I'm going to give is an example I've given in the past, and that is with the Ford Raptor and the Ram TRX. Right now, Ram has sold about 30-ish thousand TRXs. And I can tell you right now, every single, well, not every single one, but most of those TRX customers would be Raptor customers if they could get a Raptor, and especially if they could get a Raptor at MSRP. But chances are they either couldn't get a Raptor or they couldn't get one at MSRP, so they instead went and bought a Ram TRX. And then you kind of put that to Ford's other product, and it just multiplies. And so until Ford can basically build enough product to where the dealerships that represent them no longer have pricing power, to where they aren't charging crazy markups over MSRP, more and more people are going to be leaving Ford for other brands, which ultimately is going to hurt that, you know, top line gross profit number that they need to raise because they have such high costs currently. And the thing that might just be the nail in the coffin for Ford is the car market that we are currently entering. We are going from a car market where people were buying everything and paying anything for it to a car market where people just don't really want to buy vehicles anymore. Interest rates are too high, and new car prices have just gotten way too high to where a lot of people just simply can't afford them. And so if you have Ford already in a situation where they're losing money right now, well, over the next 6 to 12 months, they're probably going to be losing a heck of a lot more money because they're not going to be selling as many vehicles as they were selling over the course of the 2022 sales year in the 2023 sales year. And so this is something else that Ford has to figure out in the short to medium term. So in conclusion, Ford is not profitable right now, and they are not profitable leading into what looks like a deeper recession for the overall US economy, which means that they will most likely be even less profitable in the short to medium term. And this is happening because, well, they can't build vehicles that people actually want to buy, and when they do build vehicles, they have major issues which ultimately cost the company a lot of money in the form of recalls and warranty claims. And so Ford could be in the position in the near future to where they basically go bankrupt, and maybe they're going to have to get bought up by the federal government. And so the people that have constantly called General Motors government motors will now have to call Ford Federal Motors, right? The joke will have to continue. And so, yeah, Ford's future right now, it isn't looking the best. With that being said, do I personally plan on still purchasing Fords in the future? And the short answer is yes, because I really do love the product that I purchased from Ford. They make really good specialty product. Now, their average everyday vehicles, I think for the most part, are pretty good, but there is definitely like a pretty big gap with Ford right now where they have like really cool top of the line product, and then their regular everyday person product, it's, I don't know, it's not that it's not exciting, it's just that it doesn't seem like Ford's spending enough time with that. And so, again, for someone like me that has access to the more specialty product, yeah, it still makes sense. And, you know, so far Ford has been really good with warranty claims. Like everything that I talked about in this video, other than the paint stuff on the Shelby GT350, was covered under warranty. Like with the Raptor, they covered the brakes under warranty, the axle, like all of it was covered under warranty. And I can't say the same for other manufacturers. Like I also own vehicles from Stellantis, and it is so difficult to get stuff covered under warranty with Stellantis. And so that's actually something that also kind of pushes me over to Ford personally. Now, I am obviously, you know, taking a quote-unquote gamble that, you know, Ford could potentially go to business, and then those warranty claims that I'm getting right now I won't get in the future. But at the same time, Ford's been around for so long, and it's such an iconic brand that I think that even if Ford was losing so much money that it didn't make sense to keep the company around, the government would still do something to keep the company around because it's Ford at the end of the day. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Let me know if you think differently from what I think, because maybe I have rose-tinted glasses on. Let me know if you think that, you know, Ford will go out of business, or if, you know, people just stop purchasing from Ford because of all of these quality issues. I'm interested to hear your opinions. I'll see you.